The Yankees on Tuesday held their fourth conference call of the offseason to introduce a new player, and not once was the player on the other end of the phone named Bryce or Manny, and if you need their last names you may as well stop reading right now. If you needed any more evidence that not only the body of George M. Steinbrenner III is dead and buried, but his spirit as well, you need look for no further than that. Because here we are, a mere 33 days before position players report to spring training, and the two best free agents on the market in years remain unclaimed. Of course, there is still time for the Yankees to make a big move before opening day. The most important free agent of last winter, J.D. Martinez, did not sign with the Boston Red Sox until Feb. 26, but the fact that the star of Tuesday's call was DJ LeMahieu, and neither Manny Machado nor Bryce Harper is on the radar, is puzzling at best and distressing at worst. So far, the Yankees have given us James Paxton, a fine addition to their starting rotation, acquired in a trade with Seattle. They have given us Troy Tulowitzki, a talented but oft-injured shortstop who was let go, with $20 million pay, by the Toronto Blue Jays. They have given us Zach Britton, a more than credible replacement for David Robertson in the bullpen. And now, they have given us LeMahieu, who led the National League in batting as a member of the Colorado Rockies 3 seasons back, but whose production has declined since. Leaving Yankees fans wondering, is that all there is? The suspicion here is that it is not, especially considering published reports that as of now, the one and only offer Machado has on the table is from the Chicago White Sox for 7 years at $175 million, hardly the 10 years and $300 million Machado and his agent, Dan Lozano, were said to be seeking. That is barely more than the Yankees paid for Masahiro Tanaka or Jacoby Ellsbury, and a lot less than they are paying for Giancarlo Stanton. So it seems inconceivable that they would allow a player the caliber of Machado, baggage and all, to slip away for what amounts essentially to chump change. And the addition of LeMahieu, who was signed for 2 years and $24 million, seems to indicate that something more is to come, although it's not entirely clear what. LeMahieu, 30, has played all but 8 of his 941 Major League games at either third base or second base. Those positions are currently manned by players who finished second and third in the 2018 AL Rookie of the Year voting. It hardly seems likely LeMahieu could unseat either Miguel Andujar or Gleyber Torres. Where the Yankees have a need, of course, is at shortstop, with Didi Gregorius is expected to miss at least half the 2019 season after undergoing Tommy John surgery on his throwing elbow, or at first base, where Luke Voit and Greg Bird remain very much unknown quantities. In his big league life, LeMahieu has played all of 4 games at those positions. And as he admitted on the call, playing shortstop is something I'd have to work on, but at $12 million a season, LeMahieu slots in as the 8th highest paid player on the Yankees roster, behind Stanton, Tanaka, Ellsbury, Tulowitzki, Aroldis Chapman, J.A. Happ and Britton. And all but $550,000 of Tulowitzki's paycheck is being covered by the Blue Jays. Signing Tulowitzki made sense, of course, because at that price just about anyone is worth taking a look at, especially a player who was considered one of the best shortstops in the game before his body began to break down a couple of years ago. But $24 million for 2 years makes the LeMahieu deal a real head-scratcher. Unless, of course, there is a method to the madness. Maybe the Yankees are planning to move Andujar for a starting pitcher, Corey Kluber is still on the block, move LeMahieu to third and swoop in with an offer that Machado and Lozano can't refuse. Or maybe the plan is to do the same with Torres and play LeMahieu at second, allowing them to keep Andujar and Stein Machado. And of course, there is always Scott Boras' fever dream, in which he imagines the Yankees will somehow convince the Los Angeles Dodgers to disabuse them of Stanton's albatross of a contract, relieving them of their outfield logjam and practically forcing them to sign Harper, too. Harper, of course, is a client of Boras Corp. That scenario, which seemed like something that occurs to someone in the throes of an acid trip, seems slightly more plausible now that the Dodgers have shed Yasiel Puig and Matt Kemp. And let's not forget they did accept a plane load full of Red Sox flotsam in August of 2012. But for now, the Yankees' off-season shopping spree has netted them little more than an excellent starting pitcher, a very good reliever, and a couple of infielders. LeMahieu hardly seems like a prototypical Yankee, a good but not powerful hitter who put the ball in the air less than any regular on the Yankees roster. Ronald Torres, of all people, had a higher fly ball percentage than LeMahieu on 2018 and has never hit more than 15 home runs in a season. He admitted on the call that the new big thing, launch angle, is not in his bag of tricks, nor does he plan to add it. "I think if I tried to hit like Stanton or Judge I'm going to find myself not being a very good hitter," he said. "I prefer to stick to my strengths. One of them is the fact that he rarely strikes out, something the Yankees pretend is not important when it comes to most of the hitters in their lineup. It has now become very important when it comes to LeMahieu." And Yankees assistant GM Jim Hendry has been quoted as saying that infield versatility is one of LeMahieu's key assets. "They told me to bring a lot of gloves, if that's any indication," LeMahieu said. There are still nearly 5 weeks before the Yankees report to training camp, and another half a year before they get a chance to retool at the trading deadline. LeMahieu seems like a pleasant guy and a more than serviceable major league player. But he ain't Bryce or Manny, and until one of them winds up on the other end of a Yankees conference call, hell ain't George, either.